Track Reviews.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a track review. My thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on a brand new song or single. This time, it's Drake. Champagne Poppy. He's back. New album, For All the Dogs. It's coming out soon. And we have our first taste of the record now, teased onto the internet with a photo of Halle Berry getting slimed with SZA tagged in the photo so that we would know that SZA is set to be featured on the song. Mwah. Chef's Kiss, Champagne Poppy, A1 promotional game. There's been a lot of talk and discussion as to what this new song, what this new album is going to sound like. Is Drake going back to the old Drake? Is he doing more of the same? Are we going to get another house album? We don't know until we listen. Honestly, not a bad cut. Not a bad single. Way better than the vast majority of Honestly Nevermind. Vast majority of that record. And Her Loss, it's not really a point of comparison because I didn't really expect a Drake and SZA track to bring the same energy as a Drake and 21 track. But look, I'll say this. It's not my favorite Drake song of all time, but he did seemingly put some effort into his pen game, into the structure and progression of the track, into the overall concept of the song, the way SZA played into it. And if there's one thing I've been saying, and I've been saying it for a while now, it's that Drake has been getting lazy. Drake has been coming out with lazy, half-assed record after lazy, half-assed record where he's showing little to no effort. He has no big ideas. To the extent that he does have an idea, it's just some self-centered narcissistic crap. But no, this was different. Even if it is, a basic at odds kind of story of Love on the Rocks, it is a story, which I will say at first was a little rough going because Drake came in pretty hard and pretty bold with, these very complainy and very annoying criticisms of women generally, sounding weirdly infantilizing at points. Oh, do you need somebody to tell you right from wrong and so on and so forth? That's what Champagne Poppy's here to do. But no, he says toward the end of that intro, he's too busy. Drake is hitting us with a lot of sung vocal lines over a beat in 3/4. It's got kind of a swing to it. And he's complaining about a bunch of stuff that displeases him in a relationship, in a romantic context. And he's really going in. He's being kind of merciless about it to the point where as it was going further and further and further into his portion of the track in the first leg, I was like, okay, SZA has to be the counterpoint to this, right? There has to be two sides to this story, and SZA's going to bring the other side. It's getting pretty obvious that's where it's going, but please, if it doesn't go there, this is going to be so one-sided and weird. And yes, that is in fact what happens. Drake actually kind of sets himself up to be SZA's foil in a way, as she hits even harder, I think, with bolder criticisms and a better vocal performance too. Even with all of the years of singing under his belt, Drake's singing does kind of get a little tiresome by the end of his verse. Again, in comparison with SZA, who starts strong and ends strong, it's just not a contest. Especially when she's bringing lines about the dick, just barely being third place. Now, from here, we get a bit of a switch up where Drake just kind of starts rapping in this very understated, monotone voice. And I guess he's kind of going over the period of time in which, they're together, making note of certain things happening in certain months, tying that into a rhyme in a sort of cute way. July is when I found out Jew lied, which is maybe the worst one of the bunch. But again, at least there's a concept and a progression, a narrative. Though when Drake does bring it back around at the end, he does insert his narrative back into the fold. So, in terms of the overall, the main perspective, it does end up kind of being Drake's song, even if SZA does bring that counterpoint in her own way. So unfortunately with this love story, there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of resolution. It's more he said, she said, and then more he said, which at the end of the day, maybe would have been a stronger song if it had a destination or a resolution in mind, and it's kind of clear that Drake didn't, unfortunately. And I think this track also would have been stronger had it a better chorus too, because I guess while I get the slime thing as a lyrical device and a metaphor and a concept. There's not really a strong melody attached to it or anything like that. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad single. I'd give the song third place. Those are my thoughts on it. If you've heard it, what are yours? Did you love this track? Did you hate it? What do you think I should review next? Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Drake, For All the Dogs, forever.